Charlie Kirk has been assassinated, and so in this video, I'm going to lay out all the facts of this case so together we can analyze who really killed Charlie Kirk and what was their motive. I think that it is clear there are two very real possibilities that we are dealing with here. Was this a lunatic leftist who was upset with Charlie's words and believed him to be a Nazi who took matters into their own hands? Or is it more plausible that this was done by criminal elements within the intelligence communities, be that of the CIA or the Mossad, who wanted to silence Charlie's voice because of the massive amount of influence that he was starting to have on society? When looking into events like these, we always have to ask the question, cui bono? Who benefits? Is it those on the left who wanted him dead because they couldn't handle his opinions? Or is it the deep state who want to manufacture a culture war which plays into their modus operandi of generating order out of chaos? Stick with me until the end of this video, and I think the answer will become very clear. So to kick things off, let's take a look at the latest breaking news so we can analyze all the facts of this case. The shooter who targeted Charlie Kirk was seen lying on a rooftop prior to the shooting, which was captured in this video. Drone footage of the aftermath shows the direction where the shooter ran, where the video of the shooter on the roof was recorded, and just how far away that actually was from where Charlie Kirk was murdered by taking a bullet to the neck from a sharpshooting marksman. The FBI explained in a statement that they have clear footage of the shooter and his movements, but they will not be releasing any of that footage at this time.
We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately.
Since then, they have released 2 images of their suspect. We are asking for the public's help identifying this person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. 1-800-CALL-FBI. And here they released 2 very grainy photos of their person of interest. And the FBI is also offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification and arrest of the individuals, S in brackets, responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk on September 10th, 2025. Steven Crowder from the show Louder with Crowder allegedly received an email from an officer at the ATF which said the following: "Exclusive. This morning, my team received an email from officer at ATF. The email included a screenshot from what appears to be an internal message describing a weapon and cartridges located by an ATF and other law enforcement near the scene of the Charlie Kirk shooting at Utah Valley State University." And here is that screenshot where it says, "On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:24 p.m., conservative political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at the Utah Valley University in Orem, UT. Mr. Kirk was speaking at the university as part of the American Comeback Tour. Multiple SLC 1 and 3 agents responded immediately. The suspect fired 1 shot from an elevated position on a rooftop in an adjacent building on the campus, and surveillance video shows the suspect jumping off and fleeing the area on foot. ATF and other law enforcement located an older model imported Mauser 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus. The location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel. The spent cartridge was still chambered, in addition to 3 unspent rounds at the top-fed magazine. All cartridges have engraved wording on them, expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. An emergency trace has been submitted, and ATF SLC is working leads generated by the trace. The firearm and ammunition have been taken by the FBI for DNA analysis and fingerprint impressions. Upon completion of forensics, the firearm will be disassembled for additional importer information. Multiple people of interest have been contacted or detained because of eyewitness testimony and review of video footage. The primary suspect is yet to be identified. ATF is assisting the investigation with multiple other federal, state, and local partners, and the case is co-led by the FBI and Utah SBI. Crowder then went on to say that the information he received was corroborated by the FBI themselves. Breaking. FBI just corroborated multiple details included in this memo. That the weapon was a high-powered bolt-action rifle, the weapon was found in a wooded area, and the FBI is conducting a forensic investigation on the weapon.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. So the FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
Now, the big takeaway from this memo is obviously the part where it says, all cartridges have engraved wording on them, expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. This seems to fall in line with a recent transgender shooter who killed 2 kids at a school mass. And he also had transgender and anti-fascist ideology written all over the evidence. But in that case, the shooter's plan was to commit suicide after killing those kids. Why would Charlie Kirk's shooter leave little clues like that if his plan was to get away undetected? Can we really trust the FBI on this? Or are they trying to paint a picture of a particular narrative? We all know that the mainstream media has been villainizing Charlie Kirk for years, trying to convince their viewers that he was the equivalent to a Nazi. I mean, just listen to this MSNBC host and what he says following the death of Charlie Kirk as he tries to blame it on Charlie himself.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matthew Dowd has since been fired from MSNBC after his reprehensible comments about Charlie Kirk. And rightly so. But if you thought that was bad, get a load of these people who are cheerfully celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. This is just a small compilation that I compiled, but there are literally hundreds of other clips just like this that are currently out there right now.
I have breaking news. We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh.
We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck. Who's up next? We got Charlie in the neck.
Charlie Kirk got shot and he's dead. Finally, somebody with a gun, which is almost everybody in the fucking States, grew a pair and fucking went and shot somebody on the right side. Thank you. Can we keep this up, please?
Fucking stoked right now. You wanna know why I'm so fucking stoked? Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk. Go ahead, read the latest headlines and you'll see why I'm so fucking yes!
They got him in the neck.
They got him in the neck, shit whip. Like a fucking samurai film. Oh, good news. Good news, everyone. Good news.
Hey, so Charlie Kirk just got shot. Maybe there are good guys with guns out there. Update, Charlie Kirk is officially looking up at us, and I'm about to head to the grocery store because I'm making ribs tonight. Oh, but he was a man with a wife and kids. Yeah, and now they're safe from him.
Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself fucking shot, because he's right. Empathy is dangerous to society, so no one should give a fuck that he's dead.
Please let the rumors be true. Let the gossip be reality. Please.
Guys, it happened. He got it pronounced dead. Oh my god, this is literally like, I swear to God, the equivalent of like the big beautiful obituary. Like, we're so close. We're this fucking close. I swear we're this close. That is for sure. I am definitely popping a bottle tonight. I can't believe this. Whoever did it, I just want to say thank you so much. Whoever did it, they finally did it for the sake of humanity. Thank you so fucking much. Thank you.
Holy fucking shit, he's dead? Fucking shit.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Never believe the reason I'm smiling. And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time, but I'm gonna now because rest in peace, Bozo!
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier. Praise fucking be.
I do not, and I will not, ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Breaking news, Charlie Kirk was in the neck. As of right now, I think his condition is unknown. And there are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people. So on behalf of everybody else, I got this shit. We can all celebrate because something really awful happened to a really, really awful guy. And again, if you're one of those dipshit people that are like, no matter what happens, you should never wish death on some... I'm gonna cheer and dance and sing. Thank you very much.
There are some people on this app that are sitting there saying, oh, you shouldn't wish death upon any person, no matter what side they're on. Fuck that. Fuck that. Charlie Kirk was a fucking Nazi. He was a fucking Nazi. And you know what kind of Nazi is the best Nazi? A dead one. Thank God that shit stain of a person is no longer in this world. And may his hell be being confronted by every single marginalized person that he hurt. That is what is fucking wrong with you. That does not make me a bad person for thinking that bad people should not be in this world. So, fuck that Nazi. And have a great day.
Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Fuck Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk and you support his death.
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You support his shooter?
Yep, sure do. Freedom.
You support Charlie Kirk's shooter?
Sure do. He does all a favor.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
You would have killed him yourself? Okay.
It's horrible to know that people like that exist. But that's what happens when the media has been pushing the lie for years that people like Charlie Kirk are the equivalent to Nazis. Now listen to what Charlie himself had to say about the importance of maintaining an open dialogue with these people.
I got a question.
Sure. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you. My name's Mercury.
Nice to meet you.
Why are you...
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
You think that's not emotional violence?
How is this? What is emotional violence, by the way? I don't know what that is.
It is harm intentionally perpetrated on another another human being that is intentionally targeted at their emotional well-being.
Okay, so feelings mean nothing to me. Isn't why we had the First Amendment to try to push our boundaries and to hear things that might make you mildly uncomfortable?
This doesn't make me mildly uncomfortable.
Does it make you very uncomfortable?
It makes me angry.
He knew they were angry, and he knew what they might do to him. But yet, God bless him, he continued to speak the truth without fear or compromise.
At the core of the left, at the core of a liberal, is someone that would use the sword if they had it. They are very violent people at their core. They always have been. They can't debate. They can't have conversation. So they'll resort to these tactics. They're going to do everything they possibly can to try to murder this movement because they can't beat us. So they're going to try to take weapons. And no, we're very aware of that. I'm aware of it. We have to have full-time security. This is not a joke. This is who these people are.
When asked about his own death and how he would like to be remembered, here's what Charlie Kirk had to say.
How do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
The most important thing to him was his faith. In fact, the very last message that he had for people right before he died was that Jesus Christ is Lord and God over all.
Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God over all.
This is why they hated him. And interestingly enough, just before Jesus died, in the final hours that he had with his disciples leading up to his crucifixion, Jesus said in John 15, 18 to 19, "If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. Yet, because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you." Charlie chose to be not of the world, but instead he was working for the kingdom of God. And now we get to the answer to the question that this whole video started with. Who really killed Charlie Kirk? And what was their motive? I want to share with you this viral tweet that I put out last night that as of the making of this video has 1.5 million views, where I said, listen very closely to the answer Charlie Kirk gives to a question from the audience. If he was taken out by criminal elements within the intelligence community, this would be their #1 reason for doing so. Listen to his brilliant answer that I think upset the powers that ought not be, because they don't want this information spreading any further than it already has.
I was articulated yesterday by a couple of my friends that our country was not founded on Christian principles. So I want to see how, like, an argument that you guys can give me to combat that. So essentially, they articulated to me that our country was founded on common law, because the Declaration only refers to God 4 times and the Constitution doesn't refer to God at all. And it only articulates the structure of government. And is common law Christian in nature, or is it not?
I can take it first. So this guy doesn't, whoever said that doesn't really know what they're talking about. So first of all, remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. 9 out of 13 of the original states required you to be a Bible-believing Christian to serve in government at the time of the founding. You could, even in actually, 13 out of 13 required a declaration of faith. 9 out of 13 required you to be a Protestant, except Maryland, which was Catholic, which still required a declaration of faith. In almost every single one of the original state constitutions, Pennsylvania included, they had, "I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior," in the original state constitutions. So you remember, we're a collection of states before that. Secondly, 55 out of 56 of the original signers of the Declaration were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. You asked about common law. So common law is inherited from Blackstone, who was Christian. Common law is an outgrowth of the scriptures. So let's go to 3 principles of common law: presumption of innocence, due process, and jury of your peers. All 3 are biblical principles. So, and all wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is in Leviticus 19, right before the most famous part of Leviticus 19, which is that you should love your neighbor as yourself, But before that is that in the administration of justice, you shall not favor the rich or the poor, which is the idea of blind justice. We get that in the West, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal. Neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you're all one in Jesus Christ, which we get the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas. They're not Enlightenment ideas, which is they kind of get conflated at the time. But more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's a big deal, okay? Laws of nature and nature's God. The last paragraph of the Declaration reads as a prayer. It says, we appeal to the supreme judge of the universe. Who's the judge of the universe? Jesus Christ, as it says in Revelation, that Jesus will judge the earth on his throne. So in the Declaration, they were praying to Christ our Lord as a prayer very specifically. Thirdly, as I said on stage yesterday, Deuteronomy was by far the most quoted book, religious or non-religious, in the time of the founding when they were putting together the Constitution, more than John Locke, more than Montesquieu, more than Blackstone. So the book of Deuteronomy, which talked about laws, customs, traditions, it was Moses' farewell address as he's about to say goodbye, say, hey, good luck in Canaan, guys. Here's how you should set up your form of government. But finally, and most importantly, let's look at actually what the founders said. John Adams famously said the Constitution was only written for a moral and religious people. It was wholly inadequate for the people of any other. The body politic of America was so Christian and was so Protestant that our form and structure of government was built for the people that believed in Christ our Lord. One of the reasons we're living through a constitutional crisis is that we no longer have a Christian nation, but we have a Christian form of government, and they're incompatible. So you cannot have liberty if you do not have a Christian population. So that's just a surface level belief. So then they'll go to the First Amendment, which has two parts of the First Amendment which get conflated. First of all, separation of church and state is not in the U.S. Constitution. That is a single letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1807 to the Danbury Baptist Convention in Massachusetts, assuring them that the government would not come after the church, okay, which is the opposite of what they would say. However, that was then resurrected by the Warren Court and the Burger Court in the 60s, where they said, hey, all of a sudden, we're now going to make this as if it's the Constitution. It does say in the Constitution 2 things, which is the Establishment Clause and the Free Expression Clause. The Establishment Clause is that Congress shall make no law prohibiting the free exercise thereof. What they were most worried about was a Presbyterian or a Anglican or a Quaker type religion taking over the federal government. Instead, it was that there is not going to be a state-run religion or a state-run government. Did you know that one of the first acts of Congress was taxpayer-funded Bible printing and distribution? Did you know that there were church services held in the Supreme Court building as late as the Jackson presidency in the 1820s? But going back to this idea of separation of church and state, and again, I could riff on this ad nauseum because it's just so ridiculous, right? Is that it's not biblical because first, it's not biblical. It's not constitutional because you go a layer deeper. People that even say that, do you believe in separation of morality and state? Nobody does. So all laws are a reflection of morality, and all morality comes from somewhere. There is no such thing as neutral morality. And we believe what the founders believed because they put it in the halls of Congress, they put it in the Supreme Court, and they put it all throughout the country, which is that the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments, is the core morality of how a society and a civilization should exist, right? The 10 Commandments of every person. And finally, and this is the kicker, if the founding fathers were not Bible-believing church-attending Christians, why did they put Leviticus on the Liberty Bell? Not John, not Psalms, not Proverbs, not Genesis, Leviticus. Most Americans can't spell Leviticus. Leviticus 25:19, proclaim liberty throughout the land of which you are in. It is one of the most sinister, most unsubstantiated lies that does not come up against any sort of academic scrutiny. This idea that the founding fathers were a bunch of Enlightenment common law deists. The reason they hate it is because the reason they must say this is that if we actually go back to our Christian roots and we go back to where we once were, it's America's best hope for revival and for a great future. You want to add to that, anything? Sorry.
That covered it. That was pretty impressive. I can't touch that. Beautifully put.
And there you have it, folks. That's why I think he was taken out, and why the powers that ought not be needed to silence his voice before he could continue sharing that important message with the world. So let me know what you think. Are you buying the narrative that this was a pro-trans, anti-fascist, leftist lunatic who pulled the trigger? Or did the deep state pull this off? Not only to silence Charlie Kirk's voice, but also to drum up a culture war so that they could generate their modus operandi of getting order out of chaos. Let me know what you think. And guys, if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please consider checking out this Give, Send, Go campaign to help save and protect Press for Truth. Because in case you didn't know, I started Press for Truth in 2006. And after 19 years of doing Press for Truth, this has led to many attacks, whether that be in real life, by being surrounded by mobs like Antifa, BLM, feminists, climate activists, or the LGBTQ community, and I have all of this documented on film. Or whether it be from institutions who shadow ban me, block me, or cancel me, simply because I go against the status quo and because I'm interested in pressing for truth. And in case you guys didn't know, I am a one-man show. I do the research, the filming, the editing, and the posting. I run everything on the back end, like my website and the 8 various platforms that I upload my videos to, and I handle all administrative tasks as well. I've only ever relied on you, the viewers, to continue doing this work, and I wouldn't want it any other way. With your help, I can better protect myself with bodyguards while covering events, and also by building a team who can help me reach more people than ever before. So if you would like to help grow Press for Truth into something that can truly be a thorn in the side of the powers that ought not be, please consider making a contribution, because I simply can't do this work without you. Together, we can continue to smash that pyramid of control one brick at a time, and we can continue to awaken new hearts and minds who will help us build a better world for us all. So God bless everyone who contributes, and thank you so much for your support. So that's all for today, my friends. Please don't forget as well that today is the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, another false flag operation that was carried out by the deep state. If you haven't seen my most viewed video on YouTube with over 2 million views, 9/11 Decade of Deception, be sure to check it out. I will include links to that in the description below. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please click that thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. I'm going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.